Thank you, Warden. Now here in Harambe, we like to say Twende, because Twende means let's go. Well, Jambo everyone, my name is Alexa. I'll be your driver and safari guide here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Just a few safety reminders. Please make sure we are staying fully seated with hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. So no standing at any point out here. But our journey begins today in the Little Ituri Forest. Animals in the forest use their colors and markings to blend into their natural surroundings. In the wild, this helps them hide from potential predators. They are typically quite shy as well. So the first animals are coming up on our left-hand side. There's two black and white birds up there. Those are saddle-billed storks. Now they get their name from the yellow patch that sits on their beak in the shape of a saddle. Kind of hidden now, but two of them up there, they do mate for life. Then over to our right-hand side, we'll find the okapi. A little bit further up ahead here on our left, some orange-coated antelopes. Those are bongos, and even further, the beige ones are greater kudu. So lots of activity here at the front of the forest. Now those bongos, both males and females have these horns that kind of twist and lean backwards. And that shape of them is going to help them run through trees without getting tangled on any underbrush, so they can remain unseen. Those greater kudu are one of the larger forest antelopes. They stand about 55 inches tall. That's about 5 feet at their shoulders. And lastly, the okapi there, they have these stripes on their legs that kind of make them look like zebras, but they're not actually going to have any relationship to them. Those are the closest known living relative to giraffes. Now just up ahead we'll find a larger forest animal. They're kind of the same color as the clay wall they're standing in front of, but there is a black rhinoceros down here. So they're standing in between some rocks and a wall. Now black rhinos are the smaller of the rhinoceros species. They weigh about 3,000 pounds full grown. Sounds like a lot, but that is actually pretty petite for a rhino. Now they are sort of hanging out there by themselves. They are very solitary and territorial animals. They're also pretty shy, but they have good reason to be, as they are sadly critically endangered, with their greatest threat coming from humans. Rhinos, the pink-back pelicans, they get their name from those blobs. Now hippos are technically land animals, but they spend most of their time fully submerged in there to not overheat. They can hold their breath for around 8 minutes at a time, and they have a natural reflex when sleeping to push only their nose above the surface to take a breath of fresh air, and they'll sink back under without fully waking up. Now if we look towards the bottom here, we'll shortly pass over some Nile crocodiles. There's these crocs grow to be about 16 feet long, weigh about 500 pounds each, and they can live upwards of 40 years old. Perfect there, those are African wild dogs, also known as painted dogs for their patchwork-like coats. Now, these are the most successful hunter of any mammal. They have about a 90% success rate, and they take turns chasing down their prey until it drops from exhaustion. Up ahead here, some Hartman's Mountain zebras. Some of the babies, a little bit smaller, a little fuzzier. And some sable antelope back there, those brown animals. Now, a group of zebras is known as a dazzle. When they run, their stripes sort of blend and create an illusion to dazzle or confuse whoever's watching them. Those sable antelopes, those are going to be the animals to stick together and fight to defend themselves in fight or flight situations. They'll actually crouch down on their knees to use their horns better for defense. Alright, let's see more of these giraffes out here, all amongst the trees. Some of them doing a great job of showing that all giraffes really do is eat. They actually spend up to about 20 hours a day eating and looking for food. Now that doesn't leave a lot of time for other activities, kind of like sleep. They only do that around 30 minutes a day. Even then, it's in increments of short power naps. They can sleep standing, sitting, laying down, even with their eyes open to confuse anybody passing by. Now they've got those really long necks, and they have to have pretty big hearts to pump blood all the way up to their brains. Giraffes have the highest blood pressure of any animal. We're drinking some water. Now an adult heart weighs around 25 pounds. Also some elands up on the hill to our left. But those. Alright, we got another giraffe. New giraffe will stand about 4 to 6 feet. Now mandrills are the largest of the monkey species. And we know they're monkeys and not apes. Well, then proceed to eat it, as it's high in minerals and it serves as kind of a daily multivitamin for them. So on over the brush here, another one just up ahead. Now the African elephant is the largest living land animal. A male can weigh up to around 15,000 pounds. Here's that second one out here. There are also more of these baobabs that I mentioned store a lot of water in their trunks. And animals with horns or tusks can poke holes in them to get drinking water. Both humans and animals alike need it to survive, hence where they got the nickname, the Tree of Life. Coming up on some slightly smaller animals, we'll find flamingos. Out here, these are greater flamingos. They are the largest of the species and the lightest pink in color. And they get that color primarily from their diet of brine shrimp and something rich in the protein beta-carotene. And it shows up fully after about 2 years of life. So if you see slightly smaller, more gray and white ones, especially on their heads, they're just a bit younger. And a group or gathering of flamingos like this is known as a flamboyance. But heading even further into the savanna, we'll find a change in terrain. Now there's some more flat swamplands, lots of tree cover, as well as some mud pits. Animals like rhinos throw themselves into mud, covering from head to toe. One to be playful, but also to cool themselves down. There's a little rhino investigating the mud over there. Earlier in the forest we saw a black rhino. Mentioned they're a pretty solitary animal. These are white rhinos. They are a lot more social and active. They like to hang out and play in groups. And they do tend to wander about savanna, so we've got a few here, but we may find even more of them up ahead. Those black spots, that is a cheetah. Probably a couple of them out here, but always easier to see them when they're moving. And just up ahead, I'll mention them now. They're right in front of the cheetahs, but a couple ostrich are over here on our left as well. Now the cheetah is the fastest land animal. It can run up to about 65 miles an hour, reaching that speed in approximately 3 seconds. Now they can only maintain it across a few hundred yards, as it does take an extreme amount of energy from them. And when hunting, they rely on their speed more than strength, so their timing has to be near perfect to catch their prey. Now the ostrich hanging out there, they are the largest bird and fastest animal. It gives them kind of a bad smell to deter potential predators. Alright, but back to the big cats. So over here to our left, we're going to find a male lion up there with his big fluffy mane. See if anybody else is hanging out with him. There is a lioness. She's laying behind him on the edge of the rocks. If you see her little ears sticking up, it's a female. And a couple more of those white rhinos coming up on our right. Now lions are nocturnal animals. They sleep about 16 to 20 hours a day, only getting up for a very short burst of energy at a time. They're snoozing. Now when hunting at night, it is primarily warts on their faces. Males have 4, where females have 2. One of those rhinos joining us here.
Are those the same ones?
Yeah. And then circling back to the ostriches that we saw. So coming up in the grass to our right, should be able to see some of their eggs. Now they will always nest in the same spot, but they're comfy leaving those eggs unattended, as they are very kind of scattered around the post out here on our left. These goats. And they are ruminants. This means they have a chambered stomach. It gives them kind of a pot-belly appearance, but this is normal for them. Doesn't mean they're bloated or feel bad. really just says they can eat a whole lot and continuously digest throughout. So this does mean our safari is coming to a close. If we have had any wilderness explorers on board, you have been riding on the Simba 1. That is Simba, like the lion, and the number 1. And as we're heading on up to the docks, make sure you're gathering all your personal belongings. It got pretty bumpy out there. Things may have shifted.